Hello everyone, my name's Maxine and welcome to my yoga YouTube channel and this class today. I hope you enjoy. So first of all, happy International Yoga Day and happy summer solstice, although this is pre-recorded because I promised I would release a video on that date, the 21st of June, but as it happens, I'm going to be travelling home from a fortnight holiday in Tunisia. So here we are. So first of all, I'll just explain. I began my yoga practice on that very day, the 21st of June, in this very room. First of all, by following YouTube videos, and then soon began to fall in love with it and built upon a little sequence of my own that I felt I've so loved and passionate about. I felt compelled to share it. So I then went on to do my yoga teacher training, and I presently teach at a couple of local JD gyms, which I absolutely love and enjoy, but I wanted to share to a wider audience. So here we are sharing with you. So it's my own little sanctuary, my own little quiet place here. It's nothing special, but it's not what's on the outside. Yoga is about going within. So let us begin by, let me see, I like to begin standing on foot because just being sat down, on our knees like this, maybe child pose isn't always ideal for everyone. Sitting cross-legged wasn't really very comfortable for me when I first began my practice, so I do prefer to end like that. So let's begin on foot, standing nice and tall. So we'll have the feet together or hip width apart, slightly turned in over. So I'm going to just turn to the side so you can see me from the side. Pelvis tucked under and shoulders softly roll back and down. So just finding a nice tall posture. Really imagine if there was a thread pulling from the top of your head up to the sky, really lengthening through the spine. And then we'll take a nice deep inhale, raising the arms, filling up the lungs, feeling the rib cage expand and bringing the palms down as we exhale into prayer. So taking some nice deep conscious breaths in and out through the nose, just to ground and center ourselves, arriving in the body in the present moment, feeling the feet firmly planted on the ground, the palms pressed together. And as we inhale and exhale through the nose, just letting go of the past and not thinking about the future, just being fully present in the moment. And I think today we'll begin with chanting the Om mantra. Om is the sound of the vibration of the creation of the universe, which it's still all everything vibrates at that frequency. Every living thing on the planet and the universe still vibrate to this day. And also it just helps to relax and bring us peace and joy. So first of all, if you just like to either close your eyes or take the gaze off the tip of your nose, taking a nice deep inhale, and it's pronounced A-O-M. So inhale, A-O-M. Inhale, And then you don't need to say that out loud, but if you're at home on your own, in your own little quiet space, then you may feel a little bit more comfortable doing so. Otherwise, you can just say it in your mind or skip it completely. Go interlock the fingers, take the arms down straight and lift them up to the sky. Really and in through, up the sides, and then exhale over to one side. Several breaths here, feeling that lovely stretch down the side. And then inhale back to center. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale over to the opposite side, reaching over as far as you can, just breathing and feeling that lovely stretch. And then inhale back to the sky. And exhale, sweep the arms down by your sides, and then rolling the shoulders forward, up, back, and down and around. Inhale as you open the heart, and exhale as we round it down. And then the opposite way. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we round. And last time, inhale. Exhale as we round it down, and just drop the chin to the chest. Inhale up and drop it back. Inhale up. Exhale to one side. Inhale up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale up. Inhale, drop the head forward and roll it round one way. Inhale up and exhale, drop and round the opposite direction. And inhale up to the sky, palms together, slight back bend and prayer. Soften the knees as we fold into ragdoll. So we want the knees bent because we want the chest to fall towards the knees. Just relax and drop the head. Maybe grab the elbows. It helps just to pull the weight of the body down, gently stretching out the backs of the legs. Nice deep breath, maybe a gentle sway. Just letting go of any stress and tension, all that fresh oxygen going to the brain. Just doing whatever feels good for you. And then take the palms to the ground, plant them fingers spread wide, stepping one foot back, followed by the other into our first downward facing dog. So we want to relax the head, align the arms in the back, hips to the sky, heels towards the ground. Don't expect the heels to go straight to the ground if you're a beginner. It's taken me some years to get here. 9 actually will be on that very day, the 21st of June, when I first began. 9 years on that date. So maybe it's a little pedal, looking under the opposite armpit as we bend one knee, the other. Nice deep breaths, pushing the ground away, just relaxing the heart down the head. Nice deep breaths. And then gaze forward and bring it down into tabletop. So hands underneath the shoulders. Always when the palms are on the ground, plant them fingers spread wide. It gives much more stability and balance, because you can grip also. And then knees underneath the hips, and let's take some cat-cows here to begin with to massage the spine. So inhale, chin up, tailbone up. Exhale, curl it under, tuck the chin and tailbone under. Maybe rock it back and forth, or stay static. Inhale up, you can move it from side to side, closing the eyes, just feeling your way into the body. Take it a moving cat-cow back and forth. And then bring the bum back towards the heels. If your knees are a little tight, maybe just ease it in, bringing it back and forth little by little. And once you are down to the heels, as close to as is comfortable for you, take a little rock from side to side. That gets the synovial fluid moving around in the joints to warm them up. This really helps my knee, the yoga practice. I've had a dodgy left knee for some years now, and it is better now than it's ever been. And then let's just stretch out the arms in front and resting it down. One variation of child pose, so you can have the arms active, pressing the fingertips or the palms into the ground with the head rested. Passive arms, you could rest the forearms or pray behind the head. And anytime you need to take a break during your practice, feel free to come down into a child pose of your choice and modify the poses in any way which suit you. Just adapt them for yourself. And then let's plant the palms, taking the gaze forward, again fingers spread wide. And we're going to just go through a Vinyasa, short, slow Vinyasa, simple, just to get used to the connecting the breath with the body and the flow. So we would inhale the shoulders up over the wrists, check the elbows are rotated insides forward. So when we take the weight forward, the elbows are going to tuck into the sides, opposed to if you have your elbows rotated out over, they're going to bend like that. That's fine for if we're doing thread the needle and the likes of that, but we always want usually the insides of the elbows rotated forwards. So we'd inhale forward, take the weight forward, exhale it down, and I'm out of the vision here, and then inhale up to cobra and exhale back to child pose. So gaze forward, inhale shoulders over wrists, exhale forward down, and inhale up, keeping the elbows tucked in, and then back as we exhale. So just in your own time, connecting the breath with the body. And maybe coming up in the cobra a little higher each time. Cobra elbows always bent, tucked into the ribs. And the last one, bring it forward, down, maybe a little higher in cobra. Let's hold it for several breaths here. So we want elbows bent, shoulders down away from the ears, lengthen through the neck. And then let's bring it down, slide the forearms forward into Sphinx. Sphinx elbows are directly underneath the shoulders at right angles. Forearms are parallel, palms planted, fingers spread wide. So just taking several breaths. So this is also an option if you weren't comfortable in a cobra or an up dog. You could come down into a Sphinx. Maybe have a little move around, a little sway from side to side. Nice deep breath. And then back to neutral. And then let's push up through the palms if it's comfortable for your spine at this point. And again here we can notice how the elbows rotate the backs of the elbows out. They're going to bend like that. Most of the time we want the elbows rotated insides forward. So, and then don't hunch up, we want to push and pull them down away from the earth. So this is seal. And then let's lower. And let's lift up the left leg off the ground and reach the right hand up to the sky. You can stretch the fingertips out together, make a mudra. Mudras are hand gestures that encourage energy flow throughout the body. And then exchange. Right leg, left arm up, Stretch out right through the tips of the toes to the fingertips. And then lower it down. Nice deep breath in and out. Now let's lift both thighs together. You can get the thighs off the ground. Maybe squeeze the thighs together as if there was a beach ball in between. A little bit of calisthenics here. And then, if you can raise the arms, maintaining the distance of the chest off the ground as it is. A bit higher, don't forget to breathe. And then let's take the arms out straight, legs together, making a cross. And rest the forehead and then just give the body a little wiggle, jiggle like jelly. Completely relaxed. Nice deep breaths. Turning the hand to the right, bring the fingertips of the right hand just on the outside of the mat, in line with your chest. Lift up the right leg, push through the fingertips as we pull the leg and the hip back. You may feel the left hand sliding across the floor behind. Pull that hip back, 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 until you can bend the knee and maybe your foot can touch the ground, maybe not, that's fine. And just relax and breathe. And then bring it back to centre. Take the right arm out, turn the head to the left. Fingertips of the left hand just on the outside of the mat, in line with your chest. Push, lift, slide. Back, 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 back. Bend the knee, let the foot fall to the ground. Just relax and enjoy that lovely twist. And then back to centre. Fingertips on at the outside of the mat on either side, in line with the chest. Pressing the fingertips into the ground. This is contradictory to what I've just been saying before about the elbows tucked in, but this is completely different. So we'll begin with chin tucked under, resting the forehead. And then push up through the fingertips as we inhale. And lift. Exhale. Down, tuck the chin, sweep the forehead off the ground. Push up, inhale. Exhale, lower. So it's like a wave in your own time. So however many you would like to do, 3, 4, 5. And the next time, rest it down, hands on either side of the chest. Tuck the elbows in, inhale up into a cobra. Maybe it's a little higher than you were before, but again, elbows tucked in and bent. Shoulders back and down away from the ears. And then lower it down. And then this time, if it's going to be comfortable for your spine, we're going to push up with the arms straight. So therefore, they may need to come slightly further back. Elbows tucked in, inhale, push up. And you could stay in cobra, but up dog is arms straight, hands directly underneath the shoulders. Legs are straight, just letting the hips fall. So we've got a nice back bend going on. Nice deep breath. Maybe have a little sway. Maybe look behind, one side, and the other. And then lift the hips, widen the knees, big toes touching. Slide the bum back to the heels. Maybe push through the palms to get the bum closer. Lengthening out through the spine, stretching the arms in front, resting the forehead. Nice deep breath, so active, passive arms are prayer. And then bring it up. Palms planted again, fingers spread wide, just arms stretched out on an angle, so we've got enough room to thread the needle through there. Just maybe take some cat-cows here to massage the spine off a little further. So inhale, chin up, tailbone up. Exhale, round it in, tuck the chin and tailbone under. Inhale up. And exhale, curl. Then back to neutral, maybe have a little sway from side to side. So whatever feels good for you. And then let's reach our right arm up to the sky. Now if your arm's out on an angle like that, it may be a case of just pulling this shoulder towards the centre, which allows more opening here, and the arm can come up vertical. So stretch it out through the fingertips, pushing the ground away on the floor. Feel that lovely stretch up the side. And then let's thread the needle. So bringing it down, turn that elbow out, bend and reach through, lower down from the shoulder across the arm. But don't worry if you're not getting all of the way down and you may be stuck here, that's fine. Just steps and stages, little by little. If you are there, rest the head and reach the opposite hand to the sky. Stretch it up. Maybe feel the tension in the tricep. Turn the palm, reach behind the back to the opposite thigh. And then release the hand to the ground, stretch it above your head, flat on the floor. And then bring the hand back in to neutral. Again, maybe have a little sway around, doing whatever feels good for you. And then the opposite hand up to the sky. Again, push that shoulder into the centre to allow more opening up the side. Stretch it right through to the fingertips. Feel the stretch all the way up the side. And then threading the needle, reach through, lower down. Rest the head up to the sky with the hand. Nice deep breath, stretch it out. Turn the palm, reach behind the back to the opposite thigh and pull that top shoulder back. And releasing back to the ground. And then bring it back into neutral. Knees together. And let's just sit up onto the heels. Inhale up to the sky. And exhale, reach down and over. Several breaths, nice stretch down the side. Back to the sky. On, down, over. Several breaths. Back up to the sky. Breath. And bring it up onto the knees. Come forward a little bit. I feel like I'm way back here. And then come onto the toes. Place the hands on the back. Chest through, shoulders back. Hands, fingers pointing down for support. Push the hips forward. Pull the shoulders back. And you can keep the chest, the chin tucked in if you don't feel comfortable enough to let the head fall back. Several breaths. And then maybe reach for one heel and breathe for several breaths. Try reaching down a little further. Exchange, reach for the opposite heel. Several breaths. And then maybe reaching for both heels. And release when you're ready. So if you found it a little bit difficult to reach for the heels, keep on the toes. If you felt you could access your heels quite easily. Uncurl the toes and flatten the toes, flatten the fronts of the feet. Let's take a nice deep breath in and out to compose ourselves, find some stillness in between the poses. Feeling that exhilaration after that little bit of exertion that we've just put ourselves through. And then let's take hold of one heel, reach over and lift up the hips. Check your hip is above your knee. Again, you could be off the toes, flat, or even the hand on the hip, and reach over behind. Several breaths. And then sit down, sweep it around, take the opposite heel, same, push the hips forward. Several breaths. And sweep it back around. This time, let's reach it up once again, and instead of just looking back or stay here, open the heart to the sky. Reaching right back. But if you would rather skip those bits, you can take a child pose in between and then have another little go at whichever part you prefer to be at. And then sit down. Then if you want to try this one, grab both heels, leaning back, pushing the hips up and forward into full camel. And when you're ready, sit it down into child pose. Let's take the arms behind, palms facing up over, gently lower down. Passive arms, just let the arms fall. Nice deep relaxing breaths. Maybe a gentle sway from side to side, little forehead massage. Turning the head a little further. And then let's bring it up into tabletop. Taking some more cat-cows just to massage the spine off a little further. So in any way which feels right for you. And then let's inhale, chin up, tailbone up, tuck the toes under, lift it up, so get back into down dog. Hips to the sky, heels towards the ground. Nice strong triangle, push the ground away, relax the head down. Maybe have a little pedal, gentle sway. And then let's take the gaze forward, so you could walk the feet to the hands, or you could take a bunny hop to the front of the mat. Fold it under, fold it down. Bend knees, because we want the chest to come towards the thighs. Relax the head down. You could grab onto the big toes and pull it in, or the ankles, or hug it in behind the calves, just to stretch it out. Nice deep breath. And then let's release and bring it up. Inhale up to the sky. And exhale, prayer. Into mountain pose. So just taking a moment. Tuning into the breath, checking out the posture, noticing how you feel from when you began. Just find a moment of stillness and just check out any sensations in your body. How do you feel? Maybe you can notice the subtle energy body beginning to flow more freely. Just feeling the feet planted on the ground, the palms pressed together. And then arms down in mountain pose. Nice and tall. Inhale up to the sky. Slight back bend. Press, soften the knees, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Your hands may not touch the ground, it could be on the shins or even on the thighs. Bend the knees, hands down, step the right foot back, drop the right knee, left knee directly above the left ankle, lengthen through the spine, and then reach towards the ground, bring the chest to the thigh, but don't worry, you could use blocks if you have some, or books. And then inhale up to the sky. Exhale, turn the arms the same way as the legs. Maybe take several breaths, then an inhale, reach behind the back or down the leg to wherever you can reach to. You could look behind or open the heart to the sky. Release and inhale back up to the sky. Exhale, sweep it down. Uncurl the toe, sit it back, straighten out the front leg. Hips are square. It's okay to soften the knee if you need to. Flex the foot, inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, fold the chest towards the thigh, let the head fall towards the shin. Take several deep breaths here. Maybe bring it in a fraction closer on the exhale. And then gaze forward, weight down. Inhale up to the sky. And exhale, turn the arms the opposite way to the legs. And then reach behind the back and over, or maybe you could reach down the leg to wherever you can reach to. And release and inhale back up to the sky. Exhale, sweep it down. Sit it back once again. Square hips. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale, fold. A little closer. And a little closer. And then gaze forward, weight down. Hands on either side of the foot. On the toes of the back foot. Lift it up. Rock it into pyramid. So back foot's 45 degrees, feet on in alignment with each hip. It's fine to soften the front knee if need be. And lengthen through the spine. Inhale. Exhale, fold it in. A little closer. And a little closer. You could grab onto the back of the leg if you want to deepen the stretch and pull it deeper in. And then let's lift it up, bending into the front knee, maybe repositioning the back foot into warrior one. So feet are on separate tracks, the hips are square to the front, and lifting up the arms. Take several breaths, front knee directly above the ankle, whoops. Taking a nice deep inhale, and then exhale as we transfer the weight into warrior three. So you've got to focus on looking down. You really need to focus on the spot. Nice deep breath. Stretching it out from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. And then let's flex the foot, step it back into a lunge. Several breaths. So we need to check also that we've got the feet on separate tracks, because if your feet were on the same track, you'd be like on a tightrope, which is much more difficult. So feet on separate tracks. And then let's turn to warrior two. So with warrior two, we want the feet on the same track. So heel to heel or heel to arch. Back foot outside parallel with the back of the mat. Front knee directly above the ankle, not in, not out. If you check, you can see the toes peeking out the end of the knee, so you're in alignment. One to be turned to the side, pelvis tucked under. Strong arms. Several breaths. And then flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse, reaching down and down. Fraction further on the exhale. And back to center. Again, nice strong arms. Inhale, exhale, fold and reach over. Aligning the arm with the back, with the body, sorry. Maybe look at the fingertips. And then bring it back up. Straighten both legs. Triangle. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse. Several breaths, reaching down. A fraction further. And then back to center. Bring the palms up. Nice deep inhale, turn back to the front, bend back into the front knee, flip onto the ball of the back foot. You may bring it down here if it's a little bit too intense for you to have the knee up. And then pushing into the hip, back into the heel. And then cactus the arms, lower it down if you haven't already. Pushing down into the hip as we open up the heart. Nice deep breath. And then let's bring it down. Sit it back, straighten out that front leg once again, flexing the foot. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Bringing it in a little closer. And a little closer. Then gaze forward, weight down. Lift it up. And step it together. Fold it here. And inhale up to the sky. And breath. So again, just taking a moment to compose ourselves, always finding a tall posture and tuning into the breath. Being fully present and prepare for the other side. Arms down in mountain pose. Inhale up to the sky. Slight back bend, press, soften the knees, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Bend the knees, hands down, step the left foot back, drop the left knee, right knee above the right ankle. Lengthening through the spine, reaching towards the ground. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, turn the same way as the legs. And then reaching behind either the back to the opposite thigh or down the leg. Maybe open the heart. And release both hands up to the sky. Nice deep inhale, exhale, sweep it down. Maybe uncurl the toes at the back. Straighten, flex, lengthen, inhale. Exhale, fold. A little closer. And then weight down. Inhale up to the sky. Turn the opposite way to the legs. We take several breaths. And then inhale, exhale, reach behind the back or down the leg, wherever you can reach to. Don't forget to breathe. And then release and inhale back up to the sky. Sweep it down as we exhale. Sit it back once again, lengthen. Inhale, exhale, fold. closer. And then gaze forward, weight down. On the toes, lift it up, rocket pyramid. Lengthen, exhale, fold. So back foot's 45 degrees, feet on separate tracks. It's okay to soften the knee. Don't expect to be done this far. This was 9 years worth of practice for me to get here. And then let's lift it up, bending into the front knee. If you want to deepen your warrior one, you maybe can shift the back foot back a little, but we want to aim for the hips squares, so you don't want the back foot too far back anyway, unless you've got a very flexible ankle, which I haven't. So let's take a nice deep inhale and exhale on the transfer, and focus on a spot. Nice deep breath. Just taking your time. You could keep the toe close at the ground if you feel you need help with your balance. Lift it to whatever degree suits you. And then flex the foot. Step it back into a lunge. Again, feet on separate tracks. And then turning it into warrior two. Where now, as before, check the knees not falling in or out. Pelvis tucked under. Strong arms, heel to heel or heel to arch. Back foot parallel with the back of the mat. Strong arms, reaching right through at the fingertips. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse. A little further down. On the exhale, back to center. Inhale, exhale, fold, lean into the thigh, reaching over to look at the fingertips. And then back to center. Straighten both legs, pelvis tucked under. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse. Reaching down. Back to center. Strong arms, look at the front fingertips. Inhale. I think I missed this on the other side. Reach forward, we didn't do this on the other side. And bring it down. Several breaths. Bring it up. Flip the palms. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, turn back to the front, bend back into the front knee. Flip onto the ball of the back foot. Take it down if you need to. Reach it out. Push down into the hip, back into the heel. And cactus as we lower down. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Sit it back. Flex, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And gaze forward, weight down. Frame the hands. And let's step it together. Fold. Inhale up to the sky. And breath. So as always, just taking that moment of stillness. Tuning into the breath, checking out the posture, being fully present. Now let's step it out into star. So let's stretch it up. Nice deep inhale. And let's pray and exhale, sinking it down into a squat. So if you're not used to squatting, you'll just maybe need to lift it up and down gently. You may feel you've stopped here. Perfectly fine. This is what you would call an active squat, which is actually more difficult if you're holding it here. Lower down, you can think you can't go any further, but maybe you can. I'm not a great squatter. Maybe it's just a case, first of all, you might be on the balls of the feet. Have a little wiggle from side to side. See if you can get the feet heels down a little lower. Use blocks or a towel underneath the heels to help in that situation. And it's nice deep breath. Palms together, we use the elbows to push out the knees. And squeezing the knees as we push the elbows out at the same time, lengthening through the spine. And then you could stretch across in front and up to the sky with the other hand. Again, just nice, deep, conscious breaths. And then back to the center. And reach to the opposite side and up to the sky. And pray. And let's sit it down. Give the legs a little wiggle, jiggle. And then just leaning forward. Flexing the feet, bending the knees because we want the chest to come to the thighs unless you're super duper flexible. You can straighten the legs then, but inhale, lengthen through the spine, inhale, exhale, reach and grab onto wherever you can get a hold of. Pull it in, you may grab the ankles or the calves or the feet. And then if your chest is touching your thighs, you could maybe wiggle the bum cheeks back a little further, straighten the legs off slightly, pulling it in, gaze forward, lengthen, inhale, exhale, fold. And then let's bring in your left knee, or whichever one you prefer to. Twist it round, behind. You can hug the knee or you can take the arm across. Just wherever's right for you to find a deep, a straight spine, a deeper twist. I'm going to have to cut some of this. And then take hold of the foot, pull it in. So you may just have it here, that's perfectly fine. If you want to, you can hold the foot and reach forward, taking it into the elbow, which helps you pull it back. So just gently rock and breathe. And then place the foot on the inside of the thigh, lengthen through the spine, nice deep inhale, exhale, lengthen, hinge and fold. Again, grabbing onto wherever you can get a hold of, pulling it in as close as you can. And then release and bring it up, take the leg across and the foot over the opposite thigh. If that's a little bit difficult for you, you can straighten out the bottom leg. So just take it across. Same hand as the knee that's highest, use that hand to go behind as a prop to help you maintain a straight spine. And then turn, reach the opposite arm across the thigh and push as leverage to deepen the twist, then turn behind and just relax and breathe. And then the hand from behind, turn it. So turn the arm, palm facing up over, bend the elbow and take it behind the back, wiggling the fingers up the centre of the back. Help it with the other arm if you need to. Use a towel or a strap or a belt to just throw over and grab and walk the hands together if the fingers are nowhere near. Elbow up, chin up, close the eyes and just gently rock, relax and breathe. And then release and just give the shoulders a little massage, circling them one direction and the other. Rolling the head one way, then the other. And then untie the legs. Bending the opposite knee in, foot towards the bum cheek. And then again, hand behind as a prop. You could hug it in here. Take the arm across. If that feels right for you, to deepen that twist as much as you can. Just breathing into the twist. And then release and let that knee fall down, picking up the foot. So just pulling it in wherever is right for you. You may be holding the foot here, you may not be able to get it up very high. You could maybe grab the foot, lean forward, hooking it into the opposite elbow, and that does help just be able to pull it in that little bit tighter. Gently rock, just nice deep relaxing breaths. And then release and place the foot on the inside of the thigh and reach it up. Inhale, exhale, lengthen and grab onto wherever you can get hold of. Pulling it in. Nice deep breath, a little fraction closer on the exhales. And then when you're ready, release. Sweep that leg over, bend the knee, foot flat, knee up, opposite leg out straight. If you can't manage to cross like this, and then pull that top shoulder back, press on that thigh to deepen the twist. Look behind, pop me, close the eyes. And then the hand from behind, again, turn, walk it up the back, help it if you need to with the other hand. This isn't, you'll have one arm tighter than the other. This is my tight side. And I used to be able to reach with this side to begin with. Now I still struggle a little, but we'll get there. And then release and massage the shoulders. One way then the other, roll the head. One way then the other. And then let's just untie the legs, maybe give them a little wiggle. And let's gently roll back, one vertebra at a time. Take the arms out straight, lift up the chest, bend the knees, feet to the bum cheeks, shift the hips off side to the left a couple of inches, take a nice deep inhale, exhale the knees to the chest, let them fall to the right, take hold of the left hand with the left thigh with the right hand, pulling those legs towards the ground, turn the head the opposite way, and maybe straighten out that top leg for a deeper stretch and twist, or just keep the knee bent. and try to keep the shoulder blades as close to the ground as you can also. And then back to centre. Nice deep breath in and out. Shift the hips to the right. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale the knees to the chest. Let them fall to the left. Taking the hold of the right thigh with the left hand. Pulling the shoulder blades to the ground. Turning the head the opposite way to the knees. And maybe straighten out the top leg for a deeper twist and stretch. And then release back to centre, feet down, realigning the spine, take the legs out straight, feet flop out a little, and arms down by the sides, palms facing up over, lifted up the chest, tuck the shoulder blades flat, closing the eyes, take a nice deep inhale and hold, fill up the lungs, hold for a second or two, and a big sigh out. Release, relax, surrender. Let go of anything that doesn't serve you, any worries or any cares, any negativity. Let the physical body also melt away into the earth below. And then as you now look into the centre of the forehead, into that emptiness, that nothingness. Letting go as you exhale on anything that is negative or has no good for you. Let that all go. And then on the inhale, just as you breathe in that light, fresh oxygen into the lungs, knowing that it's being pumped by the heart through into every single one of the trillions of cells throughout the body, through the veins and the arteries, flowing freely like rivers and streams. Breathing in that life force prana energy. Imagine that flowing freely like rivers and streams throughout the body. Any blocked or stuck, stale, stagnant energy you may have had before is being released during your practice. So letting go on the exhale. And as we inhale, feeling the lightness of the subtle energy body, look into the centre of the forehead, into that emptiness. Just immerse yourself into that nothingness. Into that freedom. It's relaxing the head, relax the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw. Feel that relaxation wash down over your neck, over your shoulders, down the arms to the fingertips, back up the arms, over the chest and the back, over your hips and the bottom cheeks, your thighs, the legs, the calves, through to the tips of your toes, the heels, the soles of your feet. So inhale and exhale through the nose. And if any thoughts pop into your mind, just acknowledge them, catch them before they turn into a story. Simply come back to your breath. Maybe notice the rise and the fall of your chest. And ideally, Savasana should be at least 5-10 minutes or more long. So feel free to continue with that. But I'd like to finish off, as I said, in a cross-leg position before we leave. So you could sit simply cross-legged, even if your legs have to be here if you are not comfortable even sitting there, or you could do the steps and stages of a lotus, which we aim for to begin with, the heels towards the center, maybe sitting one on top of the other, or just the shins maybe resting across on top of each other. Otherwise, half lotus, the one foot coming into the groin, and then you would release the other from underneath and place that one on top. Just anywhere where you can find a straight spine. So this could be a meditation that you'd like to continue with. We would continue with the breath, in and out through the nose. The palms could be down over, resting, mudra, up or down. Or if you'd like to finish off here or continue, that's your choice. But we'll end the class now with a nice deep inhale, reaching up to the sky, exhaling the palms in front of the center of the chest into the heart. The heart is where we hold all of our love and compassion, not only for others, but most importantly for ourselves, who we more often than not forget about. So it's important that we remember that and take care of ourselves and hold that love in our hearts for ourselves. And just tuning into the breath. So inhale and exhale through the nose, remembering that our breath is a powerful tool, always accessible to us, anytime, any place, any way, to enable us to reconnect and reclaim our natural, infinite state of being, of peace and calm and love and joy that resides within us always. We simply need to find a moment of stillness, quiet, and the breath. And also just to take a moment of gratitude. I always like to finish off my classes with a moment of gratitude. Giving yourself a little thank you for the time that you've taken for yourself in your practice. Thanking your body for what it's achieved. All of the blessings in your life. Being in a state of gratitude raises our spirit, lifts our spirits, raises our vibration, releases serotonin and dopamine. So it always lifts us up if ever we were feeling a little down. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Namaste. And thank you for joining me. Very well done.